Welcome, Warriors, back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2. And I want to kind of talk today about something that is something you're going to see on the battlefield all the time. And that's called the succubus. It's going to be beware of the succubus. Now, I define succubus a little differently than energy vampires. I know I did a video on that. Now, before we start, please go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. I always like to get comments from viewers and listeners, and it kind of gives me a chance to talk about different types of things that I may have not thought of that may be interesting to you. The succubus is one of those. So I got a comment on that at some point, and I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. When you look at the succubus, this is kind of go back in history and mythology a little bit. The succubus is a person, and it could be male or female. It's a person who actually tends to kind of, through sexual activity, make you weak mentally and physically. And that's going to happen because of all the intercourse and sexual activities you're going to have with this person. It's almost like to drain the life force out of you. I say a little bit different than energy vampires, because energy vampires tend to focus more on the emotional and drama, and also the besides the physical part of it, it's more of the emotional part of it. The succubus really is more, from what I see, is more of a physical type of thing. Now, you're going to run into these people all the time, males and females. I want to focus on the female succubus only because, I'm a male. I've had more experience with that part of it. But they are all around you. Now, they may not realize they are one of those. Someone termed the user Jezebel, and I may do a video on that as well, because I've seen some videos on that, and all well done. But the succubus is something that you have to be aware of. The succubus is going to drain you. Now, they will look very appealing, almost like the enchantress and someone in one of those movies or Marvel books or something like that. They're going to attract you. There's going to be a temptress. They're going to attract you to have sexual activity with them. But they are slowly draining you. And this goes back to the whole idea of retention. So the best way to deal with and fight these succubus is, first of all, be aware they're out there. That's a key. It took me many, many years to realize there's certain people out there, certain energy forces, certain spirits that you're going to see that are really going to be evil and destructive. And they're not really looking out for your benefit. They're looking out for their own benefits. And they're going to kind of suck you and then just move on to somebody else, which is kind of what a couple of the viewers have said about the dating situation right now out there. So people kind of go from one to another. So you're probably seeing a lot of succubuses out there at this point in time, not realizing, and they don't realize that they probably are part of that as well, but they crave the energy, they crave the activity, and that they're obsessed and addicted to it to the point where it becomes destructive, not only for themselves, but for the other person who is with them. So first you have to be aware that those people are around. They're going to be around. Males and females are all going to be around at your times. So being aware of it is half the battle, because now you know you're being prepared. Whenever those type of thoughts and activities go to you. Now remember, I'm on hard mode right now, so I'm basically trying to avoid any kind of thought, any kind of pictures or any images that I see that could be tempting. It's difficult because you're going to have people who are going to be temptress out there, enchantress people who are going to tempt you into kind of getting involved with them. And it's easy to fall into that trap, but it's not also easy to get out of that trap once you start doing it. And relationships I've seen, especially with a lot of intimacy early on, they tend to explode and have problems, and now you have more problems than you need because of it. So first of all, make sure you're aware and recognize these people, the succubuses are out there. Just like with the vampires, the thing that they like the most is when people don't believe they're out there. And so that kind of keeps the myth going, and people don't believe it's out there. And I'm not saying whether there's vampires out there or not, as far as real vampires go with blood, but I am saying that, as far as energy goes, there's vampire suckers who take your physical and emotional, and there's sort of these succubuses really are physical types of entities that want your energy. So first of all, that's the first thing. Second of all, if you're on your plan, your retention plan, you're going to be able to fight these succubuses better than you were before. The temptation is not going to get you to the point where you start losing energy and losing your own physical and mental being. So they're a power to drain you, is a lot less if you made an effort to go ahead and say, I'm not going to be drained, and I'm going to conserve my energy and become stronger and stronger. Now you become strong enough to be able to resist that temptation, and more times than not, after they've been challenged enough and decide that, well, you're not going to be one of their victims, they're going to move on to somebody else. And that's going to be a key type of thing. So the succubus is really something you have to be careful with. Now, the other thing too is obviously as you start thinking about these energies and things like that, do other constructive types of things to get your mind off of that, right? Don't make that person the center of your attention. Don't make that person center of attention so that all your energy is going all to them, both mentally and physically. Because that's going to drain you, and those succubuses see that, and it's almost like sharks in the water. They will sense that, and they will come after you with that type of attitude. And because the temptation is great, that's important. So always remember, people are people. No matter how good they look, they're still made of the same things we're all made of. And so when you think about it that way, maybe that's a way to kind of block out that temptation to that. Now, of course, if you found someone and you're marrying that person, or married to somebody, or you have a strong girlfriend, boyfriend, that's a whole different situation. I'm not talking about that type of thing. You have to kind of make that decision and use your energy wisely. That's kind of the thing I'm saying. Use your energy wisely. But if you're just kind of hooking up and finding different people to do that with, you're going to bound to run into these succubuses. They're going to kind of drain you dry before you know it. And I'm not even talking about the financial and all the other commitments you're going to end up making and maybe losing because of all those type of things as well. So be wise, my young warriors, and for the more mature warriors, you've been through the wars as I have, so those things are out there. Be careful of those type of things. But the succubus is something that is real. There are people out there that really want to drain you physically, and they want to, kind of take all your energy. This is why, when you see people that, when they end up having intercourse, the male is exhausted and tired, and you don't have the same type of thing when it comes to giving your energy out. So when you get your energy, the male is exhausted after that happens. And that shows you right now, they're losing energy. Just the fact that they can have a child and set that seed, that's the case. So why are the succubuses attracted to you? So here's the key, guys. Because you're on retention, you're going to see more of these succubuses coming. Okay, it's almost like the mythical idea of a vampire in blood, right? If you have a lot of blood, they're going to keep coming at you to kind of drain your blood. If you have no blood, they're probably not going to attack you. So those people who are low energy level and low testosterone, you're probably not going to see a lot of this. But when those people like the people on this journey, you're going to go ahead and see a lot of succubuses, because those people are going to come after you because they know you have something they crave. Now, do they understand this? 9 out of 10 times they don't. They don't really understand that. But the idea is that they're still attracted to you. And you can tell that, like I said many times before, the attraction level is through the roof when it comes to it. They can't really resist you when you have your seed, and they sense that. So because they sense that, they're going to go ahead and kind of look at you and try to find ways to get close to you and then kind of experience that type of energy. We have a lot of people who are feeling people. They want to experience things. So if they see someone who has high level of energy, then they want that too. So they're trying to kind of grapple on and try to hook on to things, right? The whole idea of the groupie mentality in music and things like that. They want the energy. Celebrities, they want to feel the energy. So same thing with succubus. So they're going to, if you're a person that has a lot of your seed and you're retaining, you're going to find a lot of challenges when it comes to this. So this is a double-edged sword. You get so many benefits when it comes to retaining. And one of the benefits certainly is attraction. But the downside of that is you're going to run into, type of evil types of beings and people that are going to want to suck that energy from you. And that's something to be aware of. So, as I said before, beware of the succubus. That's going to be one of your major challenges when it comes to the journey. And what I've seen over the last, especially 446 days, I think it is now, you're going to see a lot of that happening, and people coming out of the woodwork who are really going to kind of want your time and energy, especially from the physical side of it. So you have to kind of just say, I'm goals, I have my purpose, I'm moving forward. You're going to see a lot of people continue to hang on and try to change you off your course, but do not let them change you off your course, and move forward. So that's it, guys, for the succubus. Obviously, we're going to talk more about these things as we go along and little by little. But the thing is that you want to stay on the battlefield. Do not get knocked out of the game. Do not get knocked out of the game by someone who looks good, tempting, but is a person who is going to just kind of suck you dry. And you want to do that. All right, until next time, guys, battle on.